Eggs are some of the best source of protein for your body, and yet the eggs that you're getting at your grocery store could be jacking you up. This week on The Higher Self, I'm going to introduce you to what we are doing about our health, about our eggs, and I'm excited to announce that we just got our first chicken coop, and we're going to show you some B-roll here at the house, how all that went down. I have the founder of Coop, AJ Forsythe, here. How are you, AJ?
I'm doing excellent. I'm very, very excited to be here.
I think this is going to be a fun episode.
Totally.
And I think also it's going to change a lot of lives.
100%.
And I want to start with first understanding a little bit about you and how you created this incredible, like futuristic chicken coop.
Totally.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So I come from a technology background. I ran a company in Silicon Valley for 10 years that was doing smart home installation and smartphone repair. We built it to be nationwide, had a couple thousand technicians, expanded to a couple countries. But throughout this whole time, I was raising backyard chickens in Redwood City, which is a very residential area south of San Francisco. And I had always like dreamt of building a company that's the intersection of smart home technology meets backyard agriculture. And our thesis with Coop is if you make it near effortless with technology to raise chickens, millions of more people are going to do it. And so what's super cool to see is so we're in full scale production now, shipping to customers, but 59% of the people that order our coops have never raised chickens before. And
I got to tell you, dude, like that's why I did it, because I'm not handy. I don't know how to raise chickens, and this thing is just so easy.
Totally. And so we what the two, I guess, unique, then there's a lot of unique things about what we're doing, but the two main unique things is we have battery powered cameras in all the coops that do AI and computer vision that say, hey, Danny, the door is open and all the chickens have gotten out for the morning. Or we say, we do a lot of predator detection. So we have about a database of about 6 million images of predators that can say, hey, there's a coyote outside, all chickens are safe and the door is closed. And there's also an automatic door that opens and closes. And so like the dream of the company is like, how do we get millions more people like taking control of their health, raising backyard chickens, and like the benefits, like there's no reason not to raise chickens. And we built it for any backyard.
So let's dig into this, AJ, because I like I was telling you earlier, I'm all about just living the absolute best life. And
Totally.
I don't think that you can live your absolute best life if you are not living in your absolute best body.
Totally.
And I don't think you can live in your absolute best body if you're not eating the absolute best food.
100%.
So let's just start with like normal egg production in America today. Talk to me about it, and talk to me about why when we go to the grocery stores, our eggs are probably not the freshest.
Oh, 100%. I could talk for hours on this. So right now in the US, the average American eats about 290 eggs a year. The exact data is 289 eggs a year. So people are eating way more eggs than they realize. And that includes like egg products in batters, cakes, breads, whatever. And the average chicken lays around 270 eggs a year, and there's about 350 egg-laying hens in the U.S., or 350 million egg-laying hens. So it's roughly one chicken per person. So how the system works is it's typically 90% of eggs laid are on like large-scale industrial agriculture farms. They're definitely not laid on the beautiful prairies that are on these egg cartons. And when an egg is laid, and they're only fed like a monoculture of food, it's typically soy and corn, which they don't normally eat in the wild anyways. And the farm has 30 days to give the egg that is just laid in this like large scale farm. It has 30 days to hand it off to a distributor. On that day that the egg is handed off, the distributor has 30 days to give it to a grocery store. So right now in the US, on your average grocery store shelf, like your eggs are around 30 to 60 days old. It's about 45 days old. And a really cool hack that I think your listeners would like to try out is the USDA mandates the day the farm hands the egg to the distributor, which can be up to 30 days old, they have to print the day of the year that that's handed off. And it's a number that they want to make it hard to find. It's a number that is from 1 to 365. and that is the day of the year that the distributor gives it to the grocery store, or that the farm gives it to the distributor. And so you can go into your and it's typically on the side of the egg carton. You can go into your refrigerator right now, pull it out, and if it says 60, if it says just 60, or say 060, that is like February, or that is February 28th. Or March 1st, or whatever it is, that it's, and you can see how old your eggs are. So like, people don't realize that there's no other source of protein that is not frozen that we eat that is 45 to 60 days old. Like,
No, this is the only one.
like, that's crazy.
That is absolutely nuts.
And there's a couple research papers that look at nutrient degradation, and so like denaturization of proteins, and there's a couple papers that say like there's up to like 3 to 5% per week from the day that the egg is laid that you're losing the nutritional value in that egg.
So what I hear you saying is that by the time that we go to the grocery store and get a carton of eggs out of the refrigerator and bring it home and actually consume it, we could be talking about eggs that are over 2 months old.
Yeah, 1 to 2 months old. Yeah, but yes. They have to, I believe, as soon as it hits 2 months, they have to throw it out.
Wow.
But that's like, would you eat meat that has just been refrigerated for a month or two? Like,
no,
we wouldn't touch it.
So that's one issue. Now talk to me. You just delivered our eggs.
Yep.
They are beautiful. They're big. Casper was scared of them. That's how big and muscular they look, right? But they were just, I was not expecting eggs to look that big,
totally.
Chickens to look that big, because of all of the videos that I've seen of chickens, like in these industrial places. Talk to me about the stress that the chickens have to go through and live through, which obviously must be impacting the eggs.
Totally. So chickens are natural foragers. So their diet are bugs, worms, grasses, flowers. Like, it's not just eating ground up corn that is blended with, like for baby chicks, it's blended with antibiotics. Like, it's a very unnatural diet, but the diet is tailored for, it's like, how do we optimize egg production and not really optimize for nutritional quality? So one of the really cool things that with backyard chickens is you can feed them just about any table scraps. So, and like I fed my chickens sushi yesterday, and like, so chickens are omnivorous. People like might think they're vegetarians. Like, they eat meat, they eat fish. And so the average American throws out about 300 pounds of perfectly edible food a year. And the average American family throws out about $2,000 worth of like perfectly edible food. When you have chickens, 100% of that can get recycled back into making eggs with like a very diverse diet. And then you're not contributing to like throwing out perfectly good food. The 35, this is a crazy stat. So when you throw out food, with the Americans right now, when they throw out their table scraps, or restaurants throw out excess food, that goes to the landfill, and just that food alone accounts for 35% of methane emissions from landfills. Wow. And it's like, when you give chickens a balanced diet of nutrients, bugs, let them forage, let them have their natural like foraging and scratching behavior on the ground. Like, I think all of your listeners have had farmers market eggs, and you put it in the frying pan, and you're like, I've never seen a yolk that looks and tastes like this. Yeah. And our mission with Coop is like, how do we get millions of more Americans experiencing that? Because this whole like backyard to table movement, whether you're gardening or having backyard chickens, like the food that you give your chickens today literally turn into eggs tomorrow morning that you and your family can eat. And so it's
it happens that fast.
Yes. I think the average, this is also crazy, the average chicken, from the time it eats a bug, will poop that bug out in like 90 to 120 minutes. Like, their GI tract is a machine.
Wow. It's interesting because you just told me that the eggs needed water, and right away I gave them natural spring water.
Totally.
And filtered water, because I love the fact that I now have control or impact over what my chickens are eating that are going to feed my family.
100%. So I mean, you're supposed to give your chickens fresh water every day, but I like take a ton of pride in knowing exactly what inputs I give them in food, nutrients, whatever. Like, I'm actually the ultimate beneficiary from it. And I think it's hilarious that you gave your chickens natural spring water, and I'm drinking it right now and it's delicious.
It is.
But like you're just going to turn that into what you're having for breakfast tomorrow.
That's right. So I can't stress this enough for all of you. Immediately what happens is human beings divert to, trying to think of why things wouldn't work for them. So the first thing that I believe you have handled beautifully is, the actual how to manage this whole thing. So correct me if I'm wrong. I have an app on my phone
Yep.
with cameras in the coop that I can look at the actual chickens, see what's happening with them, make sure that they're okay. I can do this from anywhere in the world.
Yep.
And then there's a little remote control robot door that literally like goes up at sunrise,
Yep.
lets the chicken out, closes at sunset, and the chickens know to go back in
Yes.
automatically.
Yeah. So as soon as the sun sets below the horizon, it hits like a genetic switch on chickens that are like, hey, predators are going to be abounding. We need to, in a natural environment, we need to fly to the highest tree branch. And that's when I raised chickens in college 15 years ago, I didn't have the best chicken coop, and my chickens would actually like go roost 20 feet up in trees. Like that's their natural tendency, is to get high up. And so as soon as the sun goes below the horizon, chickens are like, oh, time to head to where it's safe. And then they walk into our coop, and then 20 minutes after sunrise, the door automatically closes. So the goal is, how do we make it effortless?
I was just about to say, I don't have to do anything when it comes to that.
Yes.
It's impossible for you to have a successful relationship with another human being or a partner if you don't have a successful relationship with yourself. And what we as human beings don't realize is that we are deeply disconnected. We're disconnected from Mother Earth. We're disconnected from peace. We're disconnected from love. What we do at Awaken is we curate different exercises to help you reconnect first to yourself, and then the beautiful process of reconnecting to everybody begins. And that's why Awaken is so powerful. You'll do more in 3 days at Awaken than you would do 30 years anywhere else.
I was so stuck, and now I feel peace.
Awakening has been the best thing we have done for our marriage.
Coming here, I realized that the answers were inside of me all the time.
Head on over to DannyMorel.com/awaken now to get your tickets today. Okay, and then our chickens have to eat.
Yep.
So then what would I do there? How many times a day? How does this work?
Yeah, so chickens can't overeat. So there's no such thing as overfeeding them. They eat until they're full. The average chicken eats about 1.5 pounds of food a week. And so you can buy, like, I feed only organic grains and mixes and scratch grains. I have a gravity feeder that they can go to anytime, get what they want. I try to do like a super varied diet. So you can feed them like flowers, grasses, lettuces. I feed them a ton of spinaches. And they go insane if you give them a salad. Tomatoes they love anything that's red. But you and Jenna are gonna have an absolute blast. Just feeding them all these different varieties of food. You can actually, if you feed them red pepper flakes, chickens can't taste spice. They don't have they don't have the receptors for spice. But if you feed them enough red pepper flakes, you can actually turn your yolks red. And it doesn't, and it gives them nutrition, and they love it. So there's a bunch of, I'm so excited for y'all to be able to experience that, because you don't realize how much food you're actually throwing out, and then suddenly your excess food that you were putting in your body, you can turn it into the world's best protein.
That's right.
And then it comes back to you the next day.
That's right. This is just. It's interesting. I've been on this journey myself. I've shared this quite a few times. I was a vegan for 3.5 years, and I feel like it was part of my journey spiritually to go through that. And it like worked for me, but then it didn't work for me. There were so many health issues that I was having.
Totally.
that I, quite frankly, did not want to pay attention to because I had a story in my head about animals, so forth and so on. And now here I am at a place where I really just see how perfect and beautiful God created everything. And to think that, God's source, this energy of life created these little animals that we can love them,
Totally.
right? We can take care of them. We can feed them. We can baby them. They could bring love and joy to my kids' lives and Selena's life. And then in return for that love, they can give us my favorite source of protein, eggs.
Totally.
Like, how could that be bad? This is beautiful.
You gave me the chills thinking that, because it really is. Like, like you give to them and they give back to you.
Yeah.
If you ask anyone who raises chickens right now, what do you like most about it? They go, first and foremost, they're family members. Like, they're my pets and they're family members. Secondly, my kids love them. I get to teach my kids about like a type of entrepreneurship where you take care of them, they'll take care of you. And then third, it's eggs. It's never like, people typically do not raise chickens for eggs. They raise it. And then fourth, it'll be like, all my kitchen scraps can go to them. Fifth is their manure is the best nitrogen rich fertilizer like that you can possibly use for your gardens or compost. Like, the benefits are there. There's no reason not to, and they're just fun animals. Like, they each have personalities, and then they're just a blast.
Well, the other thing I'm noticing is that I was born in New York City.
Yep.
And then I moved to California, and so I've never really been around like animals much, And now that I have this land, but even if you don't, and I want to talk about that, it's just like a new chapter of my life, and it's really awesome. And I can't express how it feels to know that I could share this with my kids. And like now, like Selena as a baby, or my boys who are a little bit older, like she can grow up as this just being a natural part of her life,
totally.
of her life, So I really want, because I'm not going to be bashful about this. My goal is to get all 600,000 of you to go buy a Coop today, because it's going to make you and your life and your body and our environment and the world better. So I want to keep going here, right? There's a little thingamajiggy for the chickens to lay the eggs in.
It's called a nesting box.
Okay, and how does that work?
So chickens typically just don't lay eggs anywhere. They have a favorite spot, and they'll actually all choose the favorite spot. So in our coops, we have two nesting boxes or two nesting pads, and it's an alpine pad that you just put down. And they typically lay in the morning between like 8 to 11 a.m. And they lay around 5 to 6 eggs a week per chicken. And they all love to lay in the same spot. So, and if you actually want to change the place that if they start laying in the back of your run and not laying in the coop, what you do is you take the eggs that are in the back of the run, and you can just put golf balls in the nesting box, and they'll be like, oh, these are eggs. This is where everyone's laying, and they'll start laying there. But so they typically all want to lay in the same spot, and then they'll like, there's a such thing there. The term pecking order comes from chickens, and so there's like the alpha hen. Well, if you have a rooster, so I think it's important to point out, you don't need a rooster for chickens to lay eggs. So chickens naturally want to lay 5 to 6 eggs a week, and so there's an alpha hen. So she's like the queen of the coop. She'll actually, like in the wild, she'll get the highest perch in the tree. She'll be the first one that leads all the chickens up to that roost. She'll be the first person going, or the first hen going into the coop at night, and the other chickens will follow her. And so she'll typically set where the hens lay eggs.
Okay. And that in the coop is in the back.
Yes. It's super easy to get to. You just go to the back of the coop, open it up, collect your eggs in the morning,
and that's it.
And then you can close it up, and it locks for any predators.
Wow. Is there anything else I have to worry about?
So predators are the number one thing. specifically if you let your chickens free range, like aerial predators, hawks, it's very hard to deter them. With our camera systems, we call them Coop cams. So it's constantly watching to see, hey, is there a fox? Is there a coyote? Is there a raccoon? Is there a hawk? And then we'll give you push notifications that says, like every morning in my app, I open it up and it says, hey, here's 7 saved clips of raccoons outside of your coop. But the app also knows that, hey, the door is closed and the chickens are safe. Wow. And so we try to use technology to make it effortless. It is, if you're free ranging your chickens, it is like, there is a disclaimer that like there are predators, like there could be coyotes during the day, foxes wherever you live. But one of our investors has a saying that like, hey, like freedom has its consequences. Like I'm not one to keep my chickens cooped up in a run all day and just use them as like egg producers. But predators are one of the main downsides if you let them free range. But what a lot of our customers do is when they're out gardening or out with their kids, they'll let the chickens free range then. And when you want to coop the chickens back up, you can kind of like shoo them in, or you can put treats back in the run that it's called a run, is the cage that they can live in. You just put treats there, and the chickens are like, oh my gosh, Danny has treats. I'm coming home, baby. Like they
just come home,
and they'll follow you in.
I love it. Okay, so again, for those of you that are not very handy or whatever, you go to where? Coop?
So that's the smartcoop.com.
The smartcoop.com.
Yep.
You get which coop is the one that I got?
You got our model without the run because you built a larger enclosure for them. We have ones that come with the run, and something that I don't think I'd mentioned this. So last month we rolled out a partnership with a hatchery where every coop now comes with up to 6 chickens. And you go pick the breeds you want. So if you live in a colder climate and there's snow on the ground for 4 months of the year, which is totally fine for chickens, but you choose like a cold hardy breed, and then the hatchery will ship you day-old baby chicks, and then you go to the USPS. They ship out on Monday, and they usually arrive Tuesday or Wednesday. You go pick up your baby chicks at the post office, and you're off to the races. And every coop now comes with 6 chickens, which I think is hilarious.
That is pretty sick.
Just makes it so fun.
That is pretty awesome. So a family could be up and running. They hear this on a Wednesday.
Yep.
By the following week?
Yes, exactly.
With their coop, their run, their chickens, everything.
And so I spent, before we launched publicly, I'd spent 2 years designing the coop, and one of the main design criteria, which I think is hilarious, was like, how does the chicken experience the coop? Like we want to build the best looking coop, but like the most functional for the chickens to use. I worked with a guy, Fred Bold, who was the first designer for the first 2 Nest products. So the thermostat and smoke detectors is what he's known best for. We spent 10,000 hours working on 10,000 plus hours working on how do we build the best coop in the world, and then also make it the easiest to assemble. So you don't have to be technical at all, and you could assemble the coop in an hour with 2 people, no problem.
How big of a space do you need?
That's a great question. So we were trying to design this. Our ethos is like, if you have a backyard, you can raise chickens. So anyone with a backyard, and this isn't like, oh, I live on 20 acres rolling countryside. This is, hey, I live in suburbia Austin, and my family and I have always wanted to raise chickens, and I'd love to put this in my backyard. We recommend, if you have more than a 20-foot by 20-foot backyard, it's perfect. So it's designed for both suburbia, and we've actually had people reaching out to raise quails in our coops in their apartments and stuff, which we didn't recommend, but we have people raising rabbits in the coops now, ducks, guinea pigs. People are using their coops because they love the predator detection aspect on it, and they want the alert that says, hey, there's a fox in the backyard. That's a super prescient alert to get.
I love that. How about we go take a look at it?
I would love that.
Let's go take a look. Let's do that. As you may know, plant medicine, specifically ayahuasca and psilocybin mushrooms, have been an integral part of my own journey towards spiritual awakening and personal transformation. I literally wouldn't be who I am today without my work with these sacred plant medicines. And so many of you reach out to me, message me, asking me, where is a safe place to embark on your own personal transformative journey? Without hesitation, I have and continually only recommend one place, and that is Reunion. Nestled in the heart of Costa Rica, Reunion is a 7-day all-inclusive plant medicine retreat that combines neuroscience, ancient holistic practices, and community to help you to heal, grow, and make lasting change. Reunion is not just another plant medicine center. It's a beachfront sanctuary. It's a haven for those who seek profound healing and spiritual growth. Reunion is offering a $250 discount gift to our community for any retreat that you book there. Just use the code DANNYREUNION when you book your journey, and their team will help you get started. So if you're ready to embark on a journey of profound self-discovery and healing, I recommend you go check out Reunion in Costa Rica at reunionexperience.org. All right, guys, we're here. By the way, welcome to our backyard. As you can see, there's no grass yet, but it's coming. And this is our coop, and this is our run. So we went ahead and built a little custom run that will, as you can see, just kind of matches the house. You don't have to do that. It looks like Coop kind of.
Yeah, there's one that comes with a smaller run.
Okay, beautiful. So come on in and check out our new coop and meet our chickens, which, by the way, we don't have names for them yet because they just got here. So, Casper, take a look at, yes. Look how big and beautiful they are. Okay, so explain to me how this works. So then, This is the little door.
Yep, so this is a automatic door, so it's daytime, so it's open right now. There's a little button that you can manually close it if you want.
Okay.
And then there's that button just to open it again. We have one of two cameras right here, so this is constantly looking for predators and, hey, our chickens are safe. And we'll eventually roll out remote health monitoring, so we'll be able to say, hey, this hen hasn't had food or water in 6 hours. You might want to check that out. We'll probably roll that out in the next 12 months. And then there's our cute little chicken ladder, so they hop in and out.
Wait, time out. And they literally use it.
Occasionally. Chickens love to jump and hop.
Okay.
They'll come out for it, but then they'll jump in.
They'll jump in. So a chicken can go from here to there.
Oh, easily.
Really? Okay.
So chickens they can't fly, but they can the chickens can easily hop up onto here.
Okay.
And they occasionally like to sit on top of the coops.
Okay. All right. They were like, what? Go. Hang on, introduce yourself. What's your name, by the way?
I'm Sunny.
And what do you do for?
I'm head of community at Coop.
Okay, beautiful. Head of community. Nice. All right. And so what?
Yeah, so we can show you the inside. So we just set this up, so we need to add food and water, but we make it super easy for food and water. You can just remove it, clean them out, add new stuff.
So that's where the food goes?
Yes, you can put food and water in either one. Since yours are somewhat free-ranging, we have extra stuff. But Casper, if you want to come check this out, so we did a removable litter tray. So you normally put shavings on top of this, but to clean the coop, you can just pull this out, fold it in half, and then this you can either compost it or just throw it out. So nice. what used to take 30 minutes to clean, now you can clean your coop in 2 minutes or less. So this is the door. It's battery powered. Batteries last for about a year. So in the morning, that's what the chickens are waiting for, so they love to get out.
Wait, and is that where they?
This is where they lay the eggs.
So they'll go in there and lay their little eggs.
Yep.
And then in the morning, all I have to do is walk around back.
Yep. And this is a little lock.
Okay.
Just open that up, and then you should have fresh eggs in there.
Look at that.
And these are disposable nesting pads, so when they get dirty, you can just order more on Amazon and easily replace them.
This thing is incredible, man. This thing is incredible. Casper, you ever think you'd be doing this? Look. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, well, there you have it, guys. We're here in my backyard. This is our new coop. No more grocery store chickens. This is exciting. And AJ, thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
How do they go get their coop?
Thesmartcoop.com. So if you order today, we should ship it to you by tomorrow.
Beautiful. And use the Higher Self 10.
Yep.
And they'll get...
So Higher Self 10 is 10% off, which we couldn't wait to service your following. We're super excited.
I love that. So thanks, guys. And that's it for this week's episode of The Higher Self. Go get your fresh eggs, and we'll see you next week.